this is Dave with Classic Gamers HQ. Welcome and thank you for joining me today. This is the first in a long series of classic video games that I will be reviewing myself. You will see visual goodness in HD. Yes, that's right. High definition. You ask, how can you take an 8-bit game or a 16-bit game and make it high definition? Well, the answer is you can't. It's still an 8-bit, it's still a 16-bit game. But I have managed to stretch it to the 16:9 format that we need to gain that HD advantage. Now, personally, I do like to see the pixelation because it reminds me that yes, these are imperfect games. Yes, they are lesser than today's standards. And yes, we had lots of fun playing them when we were kids. So let's get started. The 8-bit video game console, Nintendo Entertainment System's cult classic. The original. Yes, the original. Not 2, not 3, not anything since then, but the original Castlevania. This was one of my favorites. I spent hours on it, and I did eventually beat it after many hours of frustrating, antagonizing, fist-pounding, kicking the wall, fits of rage. I did finally fight my way through to kill Count Dracula himself. Well, as we all know, the Count tends to make his way back every, I think it's 100 years. And he rises from the grave miraculously. And he comes and brings forth his terror over and over and over again. Well, that's why we have Simon Belmont. Simon Belmont is a descendant of the Belmont clan, which is a family of vampire hunters. This is all they do. Simon's purpose in his life is to fight his way through Dracula's castle, or wherever Dracula may reside. In this game, it's in his own castle, and he's got many, many evil minions by his side, securing his castle and keeping anybody that opposes him out. Simon encounters many mythical creatures that we all know of, such as Frankenstein, Count Dracula, of course, killer bats, Medusa, the Grim Reaper, and of course Dracula himself. Simon's primary weapon, of course, is dubbed the Vampire Killer. It's a whip, and it is upgradable to a chain-type whip. I would imagine it's probably a leather whip, similar to what Indiana Jones would use. You grab items by whipping candles, walls, and enemies. And these items include hearts, secondary weapons, and food for extra health. Now, to gain health, primarily you want to search walls with hidden bricks. You bust these bricks out and you uncover a nice, big, juicy hunk of chicken. Yes. Who doesn't want a hunk of chicken that's been hiding in a brick wall for centuries? I mean, it sounds delicious. Graphics for this game, they're arguably not the best that the NES can produce, but I myself am a fan of the dark and imperfect graphics that this game provides. It adds to the ambiance, and it adds to the overall feel of the game. The music, the graphics, everything all bundled up into one is what makes Castlevania what it is. Gives the game an atmosphere that works perfectly. Overall, it's a very polished game. I don't really have any gripes, just one, and it's It's the way you die in the game, which you are thrown backward or forward at what seems to be 5 to 10 feet, and usually into a pit of some kind. The controls are real tight, real precise. You do have to use timing throughout the entire course of the game, and the skill level is right up there where most of us would prefer it to be. If you prefer a harder skill level, play through the game all the way through. As soon as it starts back up, it'll be in a harder type game mode, and you can play your way through that to experience a more difficult challenge. Other than that, the bosses have different skill levels of their own. Arguably, Death and Dracula would maybe be neck and neck. I found Death to be fairly easy, whereas Dracula, I spent a couple hours trying to beat him just because of his surprise transformation.
Holy shit!
If you haven't played the original Castlevania for NES in many years, or if you haven't played it at all, I would definitely recommend picking up this title immediately if you're looking for a great challenge. I do appreciate you watching my first review of the NES classic Castlevania 1, and I hope you do attend many more reviews that I have coming in the near future. Until then, keep it classic, and we will see you next time.